Okay. Hello everybody and welcome to the War Room. This is a bonus edition because I've got a camera angle I want to share with you guys, and I love this camera angle. It's my favorite camera angle because you get like a bird's eye view of the octagon and you kind of see the patterns that people are moving in and how they control the space and cut people off. McGregor's last fight against Cowboy, there are lots of things to talk about this, which is amazing considering it's only 40 seconds long. Now, the first thing we need to talk about is the fact that Cowboy has always struggled with people that have got a brash, confident, aggressive approach to the fight. He's much better when he's friendly with people. So McGregor had already kind of had a presence, during fight week. As he does, he was very calm and respectful towards Cowboy, but I even think that was quite unnerving for him. I think Cowboy almost had expected McGregor to be very aggressive, so in which case, when he was very calm and collected, Cowboy didn't exactly know what to expect in the first round. Okay, now as this plays through, the first thing that McGregor's going to do is he's going to come out and he's going to blast the left hand over the top of Cowboy like it was going to be a home run. Now as he does it, he steps and he lunges heavy on his lead leg. And this is something I wanted to touch on in this, which relates to the full episode of War Room for the breakdown of this show. Now, all of the weight is on McGregor's lead leg there, which is, it's good because he can transfer so much power into that left hand. It also allows him to cover more distance with the left hand as well. But the issue is this back foot. And my problem with that is that it's not planted to the floor, which means that if that left hand doesn't land, then he's traveling forward regardless. Like, it doesn't necessarily show a weakness in the left hand because it's done its job to create the momentum like a jump or a sprint would. It's created that explosive power. Hang on a minute. There we go. It's created the explosive power that he needed to fire the left hand over the top. The problem is now that his momentum's going forward. So what you see is as Cowboy, look at that overextension. He's got 1 point of contact on the floor there, which is that lead leg, and it's pretty much entirely under his hips. So as I was talking about in the War Room, if Poirier is going to work that lead calf and start to nullify that, this very position here that McGregor's in would be really uncomfortable and quite difficult for him. It would certainly lessen his arsenal and effectiveness. Anyway, Cowboy's level changes underneath. So McGregor does a great job of, he flexes, he tenses his body, which means that the whole of him just kind of balances on Cowboy's shoulder, and he's able to kind of plank himself into a sprawl position, which just honestly, it just shows the athleticism of the man. It's very impressive to be able to do that. Most people get folded in two with this impact, bang. Most of the time, that shoulder from Cowboy would fold somebody, and it would make his takedown easier, or at least allow him to come up into a clinch. But because McGregor's on top of him, he's not able to. The other thing that's nice as well is as soon as McGregor realizes his left hand is past Cowboy, he scoops it back here to become a crossface. Comes all the way back, crossface, and then he starts moving back to get his head away. And once the crossface is there, he uses that to pry Cowboy away and then start to move away. Head comes into place, and he's moving back in order to get this head position here so he can create space for this shoulder strike. He's already in position thinking about this. Now, the next thing we're going to see, there's a little bump. That's where the first one is. Little bump just there. Now, what I want you to pay attention to here is the elbow of Cowboy, right? Where's my little spotlight? Right, elbow of Cowboy. That's forced through behind his back at the moment because McGregor's controlling his wrist. What you're going to see as the shoulder strike is fired is that this elbow is going to also fire forward, which means that McGregor, not only is he firing the shoulder, but he's also pulling with this arm to move him onto the shoulder. Almost like you would with a tie clinch. You grab someone in the back of the head and you throw that knee straight down the pipe. So watch this. Watch how it fires through. It gets pulled by McGregor, bang, onto the knee, onto the elbow, onto the shoulder, bang. Look at that, beautiful. Two methods of momentum. Shoulder goes forward, elbow goes forward, Cowboy lands on the shoulder. Head goes back in position, another shoulder strike, that's the one that does the damage. And you can tell because Cowboy's head posture changes. Turns away, turns his head down. Because the nose is damaged. Okay, right. McGregor's backing up. He's creating some space. He's using this lovely wrong one. He's using this lovely pry position here that goes down across Cowboy's waist. I mean, McGregor's hand would probably be here, and it's like it's back of his hand. He's on the midsection of Cowboy to hold that space between them because Cowboy's got the underhook. So it's about creating space so he can land his shots. He tries a knee here, which just clips Cowboy on the side of the head, and then they break. Okay, you remember the lead uppercut that he landed against Max Holloway, which was beautiful. Backs him up against the fence. So let's just, for a moment, while we've got this lovely camera angle, talk about this. Now, from Cowboy's perspective here, there aren't many options. I mean, he's being backed up against the fence here, but he's also feeling like McGregor's going to cut this outside angle, which is going to force Cowboy to start moving in this direction. So that's what's going to happen, right? So McGregor starts to cut him off in this direction. McGregor comes to the outside. He fires the left down the pipe, but realizes Cowboy is out of range. So he pulls that punch there. Look at that, beautiful. He's got control. That's the end of the throwing of that left hand now. And now he switches to a lead right uppercut, which comes up the center and catches Cowboy. But look how much distance he's covered there. Step, double step actually. Step, left to posture to throw, and then the right comes all the way up. And then Cowboy's up against the fence. Now, as he circles away, Cowboy's going to throw a kick at McGregor, and McGregor's going to return. But watch what McGregor's doing. Look how this hand's reaching out. He's closing this door for Cowboy. Like, he wants Cowboy to move in this direction. That's what he's trying to get him to do, whether he's trying to get him to walk onto that left hand or a kick. But it's Cowboy that takes the initiative, and he's the one that throws a kick, which is caught, blocked, and covered by McGregor, who then returns, but his kick gets around and catches Cowboy on the side of the head. Now, this is the next key moment that I want you to focus on, because in the War Room, I talk about the fact that McGregor cuts his opponents off. He comes around to this side and then punches them across the fence panel into the corner. As I was also talking about as well in the War Room, in a boxing ring, this wouldn't work because there's your boxing ring. So Conor wouldn't be able to use this same kind of tactic in a boxing ring. It's a slightly different delivery, but it's tailored specifically to MMA. So whether it's conscious or not, it's very impressive. Anyway, this is the next important thing. He's going to jump. He's going to throw a flying knee, but the purpose of this knee is to position his back foot here so he's in the position to fire the left hand over again, punching him across the fence. Now, the reason he does this, I know I got into it in a bit in War Room, but the reason he does this is because, for example, again, if it was a boxing ring, Cowboy's kind of stuck here. And if this is a boxing ring, he's got to come into this space here, which means he's got to cut an angle and get around the side of McGregor. But because there's an octagon, he's got this space to move into, this additional 35 degrees, which allows McGregor to not only fire this left hand full power and not worry about being exposed on his open side because he's overextended, but it also allows him to reset. Because as Cowboy circles along the octagon to get away from him, McGregor just jogs back and cuts him off again and just starts the cycle over. So it's a very clear pattern in McGregor's game, and something that certainly if I was facing him, I'd be watching for. But I will say one other thing about this, and it's as McGregor circles around. Look at the size of him compared to how he was when he was a featherweight. Look at the thickness of his legs and his back. That's going to be very interesting to see what he looks like at 155, and I like that as well. That pressure down, such a powerful position to be in, especially when you know someone's already kind of found their way out of the fight anyway. Like Cowboy was already done at this stage, and that was a good finish by McGregor. 40 seconds, dominant, loads of damage. One punch thrown by Cowboy, nothing landed, and McGregor landed 19 of 27 strikes, and was able to get a beautiful finish. Very, very impressive from McGregor. Enjoy the fights. See you next time.